Every day I go to the post office, there's at least a dozen mail-in donations. I've gotten over 100 checks already. PayPal, every time I check the account, there's been another donation being made. So I want to make sure, that our brothers and sisters in the community know that I see that they're trying to help me. And I see that they're doing all they can. I've had people who have literally donated every other day during this campaign. I have one sister, Sister Acosta, who I don't believe I've ever met physically. Literally, I get a check from her every 3 or 4 days, literally. I have one brother out of London who's making a donation every 3 or 4 days from London on PayPal. So I have tremendous support. It's just that from the people who claim to be about this type of work, the support hasn't been there from that small so-called conscious community. Unlike other people who do it for money, I don't speak for money. I speak to raise the consciousness and to motivate our people so that when initiatives like this are undertaken, they will be there financially. So my goal for speaking isn't to get paid. That's not my goal. So I really have to rethink my priorities in 2015, whether or not I want to keep sacrificing 4 and 5 days out of every week to try to motivate people who really aren't reciprocating the commitment that I'm making.
So I'm assuming that when you go out and lecture, you're also using yourself as a fundraiser in and of itself.
Yes, yes. I think a lot of people don't understand what goes into being a public speaker. I don't think they understand the wear and tear, physically, psychologically, mentally. I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love it to help people through oratory. I love it. But I also thought that in doing this, I was making an investment so that when the time came for people to reciprocate, they would. And they have from the larger black community. As I always say, my backbone is not the conscious community. It's the black community. And I really have no criticism for them. They've come through. They've come through. For example, if I look here, Brother Solomon from Palm Bay, Florida, $500 donation. Also, we have the CAAE group out of San Jose, California, $1,000 donation. Sister Itanya out of Boston, $300 donation. We also have Brother Keith out of Maryland, $200 donation. We have Sister Jessica out of Lancaster, Texas, $1,000 donation. Brother Darren out of D.C., $200 donation. Anonymous donation of $155. Sister Linda out of Milwaukee, $1,000 donation. Brother Stephen out of Charlotte, $250 donation. Here's another sister, Rianosa, Bronx, New York, $300 donation. Mrs. Grace from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, $150 donation. Brother Stevenson out of Lucy, Florida, St. Lucie, Florida, $300 donation. Brother Brian of Vallejo, California, $200 donation. Sister Shebra, Newark, New Jersey, $200 donation. Miss Samantha Acosta out of Georgia, she's been sending me a donation literally like every other day. She's giving nearly 200, if not more, dollars. Sister Nancy out of Queens, New York, $200 donation. Brother John, the United African Movement, including Brother John, $200 donation. PIAC out of Newberry, South Carolina, I think that's my brother Kwame and company, $200 donation. Sister Anitra out of Mississippi, $500 donation. Brother Lester out of Chicago, $1,000 donation. Petrosia out of Brooklyn, $300 donation. So they've been coming in, and so far, this is just the checks. 131 checks or money orders on PayPal. I'm sure we've received a couple of hundred donations so far. Donations range from $1 up to $1,000. I haven't had a donation more than $1,000 yet.
Okay, your smallest donation was how much?
$1. And I respect that because some of our people are in such financial straits that that's all they can give. And I know for them to only give me $1 meant that they really ain't even have that to give, but they found a way to do it because donating $1 on PayPal costs you more than $1. The transaction fee, is a couple of dollars. So whether it's $1 or $1,000, I really want to say thank you. A deep thank you to everyone who's donated to the campaign. And again, most of them are silent supporters. Almost none of those names I gave to you are members of the conscious community. Rich. It's going to be a not-for-profit academy, not a for-profit academy. I'm not doing this to swell my pockets or the pockets of anyone else. So if you want to invest philanthropically without no expectation of return, I'm looking for those kind of investors. That's what these donations have been. These are people who are investing philanthropically because their payoff for helping me isn't going to be monetarily, it's going to be spiritually. And it's going to be in seeing the next generation of African boys being properly educated and prepared for this racist society that they have to live among. So that's going to be their payoff. But someone who's looking to make money off the school, I'm not interested in that type of investment.
So those that donate to the school, are the donations tax deductible?
Not at this point. Once we are tax deductible, which hopefully should be by the time tax season comes around, most of them should be able to retroactively write off the amount that they donated or some portion of that. But again, and I say this respectfully, we can't only do things expecting to get something back. I've had several people contact me. I want to donate, but I want to make sure I can get it off my taxes. Keep your donation. I'm looking for people who are trying to sacrifice. We are at war as a people, and there's a war against our boys. So if you're telling me you're not going to donate unless you can get some forgiveness on your taxes, don't donate. That's not the type of energy I'm looking for. I'm not going to beg anybody to do what they should be doing. I should not have to sell a school for black boys. It is self-explanatory and in your face every day what's being done to black boys. And I've had a couple people say they want to donate, but only if they can, get it written off on their taxes. And these are not people who are trying to donate $1 million or even $1,000, which is interesting because a lot of the criticism I've gotten, and I haven't gotten much criticism, but as you know, I have my share of detractors. They're all over. I have idiots out there who will do anything they can to undermine what I do. Some of them are also speakers in the conscious community, so-called conscious community, who always have things to say. I'm not without those detractors. And it's interesting because the people who are detracting and questioning what is he doing with the money, are we sure he isn't stealing it, they haven't donated anything.
So you do get those kinds of questions, those queries?
A couple, but it's, compared to the support, it's almost not even worth mentioning. But yes, there's been a couple people, not many, who've questioned, this brother might be, doing something with the money he's not supposed to. Well, if your check is being made to FDMG Academy, and if there's an account for FDMG Academy, and if it's a federal crime to misappropriate resources, it's a federal crime. That is a felony to misappropriate resources. The last thing I'm worrying about is some jealous conscious community so-called scholar who's saying negative things about me when I know that the IRS and the state is already watching me because I am the most unapologetically of all the speakers in this country, hands down. And I'm probably their chief concern. I'm quite sure they're watching my bank account. They're looking at every check. So I have far more to be concerned about from my enemy than I have to do about it than I have from a bunch of reactionary Negroes.
So you're not concerned about someone challenging you on the validity of your school or whether your funds are going to be misappropriated or anything like that?
Well, the proof is in the pudding. As I said, everything's traceable. I mean, there's an account for the school. The checks are going to the school. When people misappropriate, most of the time what they do is they write expenses in the school's name for things that are not related to the school. This is a fundraiser. So there shouldn't be no money coming out of the account because I don't have any bills for the school because we don't have a physical school yet. So if I was taking out a check to get something done, okay, I would expect some questions like, what are you spending this fundraising money on? You don't even have a school yet. So the money is only going into the account. There's nothing coming out of the account because we don't have a school yet. You see, so I don't mind the questions because I'm not a crook or a thief, But it does bother me because we have had black leaders who have robbed us blind and they never get these questions. We got black churches who rob us blind every Saturday, Sunday. Not every church, but many of them, they don't get these questions. You know, so it's interesting that I would get these questions with the track record that I have of being honest and giving so much of my free time for stuff that other people charge tens of thousands of dollars for. But again, it's only been a few people. And most of the people who have scrutinized what am I doing with this money, even though I have a website, even though there's a video, even though we're in the process of getting all paperwork that needs to be done. Most of them are enemies anyway, so it doesn't really matter.